Marvel Rivals dropped a full set of Phoenix Force skins, and like most cosmetics, they're cool as hell. Flaming capes, golden armor, bird wings, it's all very dramatic. But here's the thing. Some of these characters actually have Phoenix Force history in the comics, and some of the others, Marvel just gave them fire powers and called it a day. So in this video, we're breaking down every Phoenix Force skin in Marvel Rivals. What's comic accurate, what's loosely inspired, and what's pure fan fiction with a VFX budget. And to really get why any of this matters, we need to talk about a time when the Phoenix Force didn't just pick one host. The Phoenix Force doesn't always settle for just one host. Sometimes it chooses a single person to carry all that cosmic fire. And sometimes it splits itself 5 ways and gives god tier power to a group of already unstable mutants. And that is exactly what happened in Avengers vs. X-Men. Tony Stark tried to stop the Phoenix with a science cannon, which, shocker, it didn't work. Instead, it shattered the entity like an egg. The result? 5 mutants. Cyclops, Emma Frost, Magik, Colossus, and Namor each got a piece of the Phoenix Force and immediately decided they were qualified to reshape the planet. They became known as the Phoenix Five, and for a while, they did fix things, until the power twisted them, and they did what comic book gods always do: ruin everything. In Marvel Rivals, 3 of those 5 show up with Phoenix Force skins, so let's start with the comic accurate ones. Magik was already a demon queen with a giant soul sword in her own pocket dimension. She didn't need the Phoenix Force, but she got it anyway. When the Phoenix was shattered during Avengers vs. X-Men, she became one of its 5 chosen hosts. With that power, she basically merged Limbo with Earth, teleporting enemies into hell and calling it justice. Her Marvel Rival skin is a pretty direct pull from that comic look. Black and gold armor with a red accent theme. But there are a few notable adjustments. The game gives her a short, leather jacket style top, which feels like a running theme for her skins. They did the same thing with the X-Men uniform skin. It replaces the full spiked armor from the comics with something a little more stylish, a little less I live in hell. The spikes are still there, on the shoulders and wrist guards, just toned down a bit. They also added a headpiece that looks like a crown, which wasn't part of the comic version but fits her whole Limbo royalty vibe. And yes, Rivals also has a Darkchild skin for her, because of course it does. The verdict for this one is comic accurate, just with a Rivals style polish. It's sick. Emma Frost is no stranger to power trips, so naturally she handled becoming a cosmic fire goddess with the grace and humility of Emma Frost. After the Phoenix split during Avengers vs. X-Men, she got her piece and immediately started reshaping society. She used her powers to monitor thoughts globally, punish bad ideas, and rule by psychic intimidation. Her Marvel Rivals skin is very closely aligned with that comic appearance. Same fiery color scheme, same barely there bodysuit with the Phoenix crest on her chest. They did add a gem or diamond at the center, which feels like a nod to her secondary mutation, and it's a really nice touch. The golden shoulder armor is a bit more stylized than in the comic, almost like Firebird wings, and honestly, it works. Thighs are out, naturally, with thigh-high boots similar to the comic design, just with extra gold detailing. There's also added wrist armor and a flowing cloak to round things out and give it more presence. The verdict? Comic accurate with some refined flair. Namor with the Phoenix Force is exactly what you think it is. Destructive, arrogant, and deeply petty. In Avengers vs. X-Men, after becoming one of the Phoenix Five, he immediately used his power to flood Wakanda. Not for strategy, just out of pure spite. His Marvel Rival skin is based on that comic appearance, but this one's definitely more of a remix than a one-to-one adaptation. The comic version naturally had him shirtless, just some golden shoulder guards and scaled red bottoms. The Rival skin covers him up completely, with the red, gold, and black bodysuit that leans more into armored fashion than the bare-chested Monarch. They kept the golden shoulder pads and black arm styling, plus gold wrist guards, but it's a lot more stylized. The slick back hairstyle from the comic is swapped out for something more modern, which seems to be a running trend with Namor skins across the board. The red scale pattern from the original is gone entirely, replaced with more abstract paneling. The verdict for this one? Comic-inspired remix, but the source material is still very obvious. So, by this point in Marvel Rivals Season 3, things start to escalate. After successfully defending the Phoenix Egg, several heroes are suddenly imbued with Phoenix energy when the Force emerges from its cocoon in a burst of flames. It's less of a chosen host situation and more of a cosmic splash zone. Anyone nearby during the battle on Clintar gets a power-up, whether they've earned it in the comics or not. I just want to give a huge shout out to Miller Ross on Twitter for digging through the in-game gallery and sharing the Season 3 Phoenix Force lore, visuals, and details. Without their posts, this video would not be here, and we wouldn't even know why some of these characters are bursting into flames right now. So please, go follow them if you want some actual Marvel Rivals info. And while that explains how characters like Blade or Black Widow get their Firebird upgrades, it still doesn't mean they have any comic precedent. Wolverine's relationship with the Phoenix Force is theoretical at best. He's never been a full Phoenix host in mainline continuity, but Marvel's played with the idea in a few alternate timelines and what-if scenarios. One version has Loki killing everyone and Logan becoming the last Phoenix. Another drops him in a distant future, still alive and still on fire. So yeah, it's not a new idea, but it's never been front and center in any major arc. His Marvel Rivals skin is a mashup of those alternate takes. It's fully armored, glowing with the classic Phoenix crest across his chest, golden plates running from his shoulders down to his claws, which are naturally on fire. There's also what looks like a Phoenix-inspired crown with flames bursting out of it. It's a safe look for Logan. Thematically it makes sense, and visually it sells the idea, but compared to some of the other skins in this lineup, this one might be the weakest. It's not bad, it's just a little too expected. And the verdict? Inspired by the comics, but still very much a Rivals interpretation. Moon Knight as a Phoenix host sounds like a stretch, but it did happen. In Avengers Volume 8, issue number 36, during the Age of Khonshu arc, Mark Spector briefly becomes a vessel for the Phoenix Force just long enough to absolutely wreck Khonshu. It's a short moment, temporary power-up, massive damage, but it's canon. His Marvel Rivals skin doesn't directly copy the comic look, but there are clear similarities. In the comics, the Phoenix-enhanced version of Moon Knight sticks to his classic palette, all white and gold, with minor glowing flourishes. The in-game skin leans harder into the Phoenix theme. They've added red throughout the chest, hood, and cloak. Definitely more Firebird than Moon Priest. There's also gold armor integrated into the hood and the face, which wasn't in the comic version. The chest armor though, that feels pulled straight from the source. Gold with the moon symbol and familiar wrist guards. Shoulder armor was added over the cloak instead of underneath it like in the comic, and they beefed up the belt design too. Verdict? Comic inspired and very well executed. Black Panther was never officially a Phoenix host, but in Avengers Volume 8, issue number 41, he came very close. During the Phoenix tournament arc, T'Challa was chosen by the Phoenix Force as a top candidate, but he refused to accept unless it could prove it wouldn't destroy the world first. His Marvel Rivals skin doesn't pull directly from that comic version, and that might be a good thing, because the art team went wild on this one. He's got a flaming headpiece with a gold trim mask that screams Cosmic Assassin, stylized golden shoulder armor, blazing claws, and a deep black bodysuit that stays true to his original design. They even kept the purple accents, which is a perfect nod to his signature palette. Verdict? Inspired by lore, but fully unleashed. Lin Lee, the current Iron Fist, has never had any connection to the Phoenix Force in the comics. No team-ups, no lore overlap, not even a cameo. That said, Marvel Rivals gave him a full Phoenix Force makeover, and the result is clean. He's rocking a golden eye mask with flame detailing, bird-shaped golden shoulder armor, the signature burning crest on his chest, and wing-like boots to complete the look. Golden wrist guards with flame accents round out the set, and the color scheme sticks with the signature red, gold, and black that Rivals has used across the line, and it looks really good on him. There's no comic tie-in here, and it's not a character I personally play much, but thematically and visually, it fits the team and it fits the vibe. Verdict: fully original, but very well executed. Blade has never been a Phoenix Force host in the comics. Not in the main line, not in an alternate timeline, not even in a random what if. So this skin is 100% a Marvel Rivals original, and honestly, it kind of rules. The design leans heavily into medieval inspiration. Blade's armor features ornate shoulder pads, wrist guards, and boots that look straight out of a dark fantasy setting. Chain links hang from his belt, reinforcing the knightly aesthetic. His chest features a flaming face. Unclear who it's supposed to be, but it's a sick, eerie touch. The phoenix symbol appears on his belt, tying to look back to the larger theme. The skin uses a deep, dark purple color scheme, which makes it stand out against the more traditional red and gold phoenix palette. And yes, he has a flaming sword. No notes. And the verdict? Fully original, medieval as hell, and easily one of the most visually distinct skins in the set. I will be buying this one. Black Widow has absolutely no connection to the Phoenix Force in the comics. She's not a host, not a candidate, not even background filler in a Phoenix storyline. So this Marvel Rivals skin is another original, but it's probably the most subtle one in the set. Based on the limited images we've seen, she's wearing a dark hooded cloak that gives serious Dune energy, layered over what might be a high-cut bodysuit. The usual red, gold, and black Phoenix color scheme is here, just toned down compared to some of the flashier designs. There also seems to be some skin showing around the hips, possibly implying tall boots or a split-cut suit, but without a full turnaround view, it's pretty hard to tell. Her gun though? Covered in flames. That part rules, and it looks like she's rocking a Phoenix emblem on her chest too. And the verdict? Original concept, but cool and surprisingly restrained. Alright, before we get into the last two skins, fair warning, this next part touches on story spoilers from Marvel Rivals Season 3 and possibly Season 3.5. These skins aren't just cosmetics, they're tied directly into the in-game lore, with major implications for what's happening on Clintar, the Phoenix Egg, and the fight against Null. So if you're trying to go in blind, maybe skip ahead a bit. Otherwise, let's talk about Scarlet Witch and Venom. Now, Scarlet Witch has never been a Phoenix host in the comics, but she's been a major player in Phoenix stories. During Avengers vs. X-Men, she used her chaos magic to fight against the Phoenix Force. She was one of the only characters powerful enough to stand toe-to-toe with it. So her getting a Phoenix skin in Marvel Rivals, honestly it tracks. But this isn't just a fan service skin. Wanda's Phoenix form is directly tied to the Season 3 storyline. In the in-game lore, she shows up as a multiversal sorceress supreme and fuses her chaos magic with the Phoenix Force itself to take on Null. It's kind of a big deal. Visually, it's one of the boldest designs so far. Cosmic blue hair, a glowing purple-blue dress with matching long gloves, the classic Phoenix crest on her chest, and a Phoenix-style crown to seal the look. We don't have the cleanest view of the full model yet, but the skin heavily resembles the alternate Chaos Phoenix skin for Jean Grey that's also launching in Season 3. Could that mean Wanda and Jean are combining Chaos Magic and Phoenix energy in the fight against Null? Maybe. It sure looks like it, and if so, that would be insanely cool. The verdict? Original, but potentially one of the most important skins in the game's entire story. And finally, Venom. Venom with the Phoenix Force should make zero sense. The symbiote hates fire, and yet here we are. This Marvel Rival skin is a complete original, but it's not just a fun alt. It's directly tied to the Season 3 storyline. According to the lore, Venom absorbs a fragment of Phoenix energy from the egg itself in a desperate attempt to stop Null. So now we've got a fire-covered symbiote with the power of cosmic rebirth fused to a being made of rage and teeth. And it freaking rules. We only have a quick look at the skin, but what we do see is pure chaos. Flaming claws, a fire-engulfed tongue, and what looks like a burning Phoenix symbol across his chest. Possibly replacing the spider logo, or maybe just stylizing it. Either way, it's a bold redesign. And yes, he's got a freaking sword. a literal flaming sword. If you weren't sold before, that's the moment you get on board. Verdict? Completely original, but they absolutely cooked with this one. So that's every Phoenix Force skin in Marvel Rivals. Some pulled straight from the comics, some completely original, and some just absolutely unhinged in the best way possible. Let me know which one's your favorite, or which character should get the next Phoenix skin. Personally, I'd love to see Captain America in his Phoenix Force skin. And hey, if you like this breakdown, hit the button, scream into the void, whatever works. I've got more Marvel Rivals lore and breakdowns coming soon, including whatever the hell is going on with the Chaos Phoenix Jean and Null. See you in the next one.